Zach's message in the chat. Damn it, Zach.
All right, guys, we are live. So just to remind you all, we will not be revealing roles from here on out. You will have until 1:04 until you all stop talking to vote. So y'all know how to do this. Good luck.
Scott, you had a question for me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
decided I didn't want to call with anyone just to have my own
hmm
influence in whatever happens moving forward, but I would love to answer your question now in front of everyone.
Yeah. Your whole go down to two people. Um, like banish until we hit two, right? You were firm on that.
I am, and
Um,
I still am.
yeah. I'm not questioning that. I mean, I explained earlier this morning, I agree with the logic from a factual standpoint, and I have agreed with it since you stated it from a factual standpoint. Um, it's very sus of you to say it. Um, but I was paying attention to the people who were most vocal about it, um, really shooting it down. Um, I well, what I remember who were shutting it down. I tried to search it in the chat, but no one really was responding to you at all in the chat about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the only time people really were shutting it down was like this morning and last night when people were talking about it. But I remember Katie was shutting it down and Topher. I don't remember if Jess was shutting it down or not. I don't. That the question I was going to ask you was, do you remember who was like really shutting down your idea compared to who was just like for it or quiet about it?
Um, Honestly, I don't think anyone was shutting it down. I don't think anyone was willing to talk about it. I feel like that just remained, this is my thought, and no one really jumped on it. So I don't
Yeah.
think anyone shut it down, truly.
Well, people. Well, I mean, you were getting called a traitor for suggesting it this
Okay,
morning.
that is fair.
To me, that's shutting it down. Sorry. Yeah. So, um, because but I don't think that makes you a traitor. That's the best way to end this game with hitting traitors. I mean, I voiced it earlier. If you end with three, that means assuming there's two traitors, you have to get both traitors in two tries.
Right.
You have to bat 1,000, and if you go down to two, you have three chances to get the two traitors, and you only have to bat, 666.
Right.
So, um, but
And
being against it,
it could turn into a trader going after another trader today, somewhere along the way.
yeah,
I think it's beneficial. I am a numbers guy. I am by the books. Like I gamble. I'm all about probability, and this is still the best chance for us to win this game.
yeah, and I think part of I think being against it doesn't necessarily make somebody a traitor because they could just be like myself included. I don't think any of you would bring me to two people, and so um, and I'm sure there's at least everyone else maybe feels that way too. So I could see the fear of wanting to go down to two means there's a chance you don't win the game, you don't make it to the end. So, um, but from a factual standpoint, it is I do agree with you, and so I was just curious if who all was like strongly against it and calling you a traitor. I know like Katie mentioned it was traitorous behavior this morning. Topher kind of did. Jess wasn't on the call, so I don't have any information on Jess there. But
Yeah.
even Sanam was kind of against it, and Sanam ended up being faithful. So um, again, just because someone's against it does not mean they are a traitor.
I, I
Right.
think what I was more concerned with or the issue that I had with what Gluck was saying had nothing to do with the math. The math was fine, but it's like that's the only thing that we got out of Gluck this morning was that no matter what, whoever is still in this game, bring it down to two. Whether you banish me first or banish me last, just bring it down to two. So that's all I was can trying to get the conversation to extrapolate beyond that.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
will answer that, but I will let Katie go first.
I just wanted to respond based on that. I didn't say that this morning. The first thing Gluck said to me this morning was, "Why did I say that last night? That was traitor behavior to be pushing so hard for two people." And I'm just gonna be blunt because I understand this is a selfish game, which is why I hate it. I'm not selfish in that way, and that's it just comes off super selfish. Um, and I understand the reasoning of it because, like, obviously, if it's two people, then you only have to split with two people, regardless of your roles. The dependent, if it's two traitors, two faithfuls, whichever. But obviously, the traitors are the most selfish of the bunch, so of course they want to be in the end with someone they know is a faithful so that they take that pot for themselves. That's the show, that's the game. I understand that. It's how hard he was pushing it and just being like angry that no one was agreeing with him. That's where I was coming from personally. And it's just like, like I'm just trying to prove and show that I have been a selfless faithful. I haven't like pushed against like going for a shield. And I honestly also just to kind of reiterate on with Gluck being like, Katie's gonna die tonight, we should give her the shield, and then I don't die is just going back to me being the traitor scapegoat from day one. And I just feel like that was just a freaking like recycling of that. And I mean I'll let someone else go because that's kind of went off topic.
Um,
But
so I don't think Gluck was frustrated that people weren't uh, people's answer that people were giving a specific answer. He was frustrated because nobody was answering at all yesterday. Like he was asking the question repeatedly, and everybody was just blowing past it, talking about different stuff at even some non-game talk. It was just being ignored, and so like this isn't something new. He just brought up this morning. If he brought it up first thing, it's probably because he was thinking about it last night, since it never got answered yesterday. Um, so yeah, go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, what's striking me about what I'm seeing right now is that starting last night, suddenly Gluck and Scooter are not sus on each other. Why is that? Like, Scooter, why did you not vote on Gluck last night when you've been so hard on for him?
Because I was convinced by Michael that Sanam was a traitor. I mean, he had been right about so many things leading up to that. And I just like I felt more confident at that time that Sanam was a traitor over Gluck. And I've always said from the beginning, when I was voting for Gluck a bunch, it's because nothing else has surpassed my suspicion on Gluck. And based on what Michael was telling me, Sanam did pass. And just what everyone was pointing out, the whole shield thing with Sanam,
What whole shield thing?
her golden shield and all that, like that whole discussion and just all her behavior of like why it's not just me that voted for Sanam, that you voted for Sanam, that Michael like based his whole entire end game around it being Sanam.
No, I agree with you, but you are someone that like you've been harping on, oh, like I've been consistent, I've been consistent, I've been consistent. You even actually went after Topher last night about like his shift in behavior or whatever because of like whatever with the Jodely stuff. But then suddenly, like you're voting on Gluck, you're voting on Gluck, but then the second that fucking it actually matters to get Gluck out, you don't go for him. And I feel the same way about you, Gluck. Like you also were like on Scooter's ass. Like why all of a sudden did you switch up?
I still am. Like, sorry.
No, you're good. So I mean, I've been consistent in the fact that I vote for who I vote for until there's more information to make me not want to vote for them. I got onto Topher. I explained it this morning why I got onto Topher. You were part of some of those calls with Michael that Michael was sus on Topher, and
Yep.
but Michael was scared to bring it up because he thought it would get him killed, and he was more sure that it would be Sanam over Topher, and he did not want to risk going for Topher first. He wanted to go for Sanam first. And I brought up my stuff with Topher because halfway through the roundtable, Prod messaged me that I had the shield. And so I had the confidence to actually bring that information up. And even when Michael joined and he was like, "What are you guys talking about?" and then we said me bringing up stuff about Topher, you could tell Michael was even like, why are you bringing this up? I don't know if you saw it in his face, but he was gone. He wasn't here. And I knew I was going to get killed no matter what I said. So that's why I felt confident enough to bring up something on Topher. You're muted, Topher.
Like, I just find it a little too cute that it's like all of this talk is happening of if Topher gets accused and Mike dies, then it's got to obviously be Topher. Like, there's a lot of conversations happening behind my back about what the implication of Mike dying would mean. And it's like, again, like I said this morning, I was shocked when I'm the last two and I'm like, motherfucker, I was so close to being in the end of this game. And then it was Michael that ended up dying, and I'm flabbergasted that Michael's not a traitor, one, and then two, like it's like this feels so set up. It just is. It's too cute and too convenient, and it's I don't know like what the MO is behind it. And then I have another question for Gluck, but I'll let you answer your hand raise.
I never said like I just said Michael was scared of talking about you for being killed. Nothing about the implications of him being killed. But
how many people were aware of that?
I was aware.
Aware of what?
Of like
Jess and I both knew about it.
He was very on you and Sanam, like very on you and Sanam. And I mean, I even pointed it out last night. I'm like, I feel like this bickering that was happening between Mike and Sanam was a major distraction, honestly. Because look at it, now they're both fucking gone, right. And they're both faithful. So I don't know. I could see the arguments for Topher, but out of this little boys club that I'm seeing right now, he's the one that I feel the best about. But I don't understand this switch up that happened between Gluck and Scott. Like, it's very odd to me because you two were like so after each other, and then you're just suddenly not. And like, I'm not gonna lie, it looks like you kind of like hopped onto the fucking Sanam train. Like, and then the first thing that you say after we get to that fucking roundtable is, oh, Jess, if you're a fucking traitor and you cry, then hats off. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you fucking kidding?
I haven't gotten to respond to Jess at all. And I'd like to go first before, if that's okay.
Hand raise. Hand raise. No, you could speak now, but I'm just saying so that way you can interject.
Okay. Jess, I think we are all on the agreement that we are looking for recruits. I think if you look factually, and this is just based on the votes, Scooter is still the most likely recruit. With 3 people, like his votes for Hales, that is the perfect cover to clear himself. And I haven't stopped being on him. Like, sure, I gave it a round earlier, but my sus, just because he didn't get my vote last night doesn't mean I'm not suddenly sus of him.
Like, why did you vote for Sanam if you were still on him? Did you really think that Sanam was a traitor? Or were you just trying to save yourself?
I did. And I stated before and last night that I could very well see Sanam being Keaton's recruit. And that is why she got my vote last night. I said that before and I said it again.
Y'all fucking me up. Y'all fucking me up. Scott, I see your hand up.
Oh, I never lowered it. I guess I can respond. There was a lot thrown out there. Yeah, I mean, I brought that up. Like, what do you think? That's what everyone does at roundtables, right? You bring up people's reactions, their emotions to things, and like, I'm not trying to bring up. You're allowed to be emotional or whatever. I'm not trying to invalidate feelings. I'm just trying to understand where those feelings came from. If it was because the 2 options I see are you were truly upset because like we got Sanam out and she turned out to be faithful and like you were wrong, or if it's because you knew what she was and you got her out and you knew it was tough to do. I'm not there hasn't really been an answer. And it's just, I mean, that's what you do. You bring up, you see people's reactions and you ask, like, why did you react this way to news?
I literally was saying in the chat and on the fucking roundtable that I thought that the Michael and Sanam of it all was a big distraction for the Traitors. And nobody was fucking listening to me. And then
You still voted for Sanam, though.
4 people all voting out fucking Sanam. I was on a call with Katie earlier in that day, and the 2 of us discussed, like, maybe we should have a call with Sanam. But the 2 of us had our own reservations on Sanam. And so we were like, maybe we shouldn't do this. Like, I think it's just so odd. Like, I can't shake. Like, I don't understand why the 2 of you did not, like.
Then why did you vote for Sanam? If you and Katie had reservations, why did y'all both vote for Sanam? Like, it wasn't a split. One of y'all.
For me, it was like the way she was acting at the round table.
So it's the same for me. It was the same. All the evidence against Sanam is why I voted for Sanam. Like, you had reservations to vote for Sanam and you voted for her. I also, it was hard to not vote for Gluck, but evidence obviously pointed in Sanam's way. And it was enough that you and Katie also both voted for Sanam.
So who is your traitor team then, Scott?
Who what?
Who is your traitor team? Because we know that 2 people here are traitors.
It could be any combination. I could see it being you and Katie, because y'all were the first ones to come up against Sanam. I could see it being you because of the whole thing I just brought up earlier of you and Keaton in a random midnight call or 3 a.m. call together, like discussing things. And that was shortly, that was only like 4 days ago. When Keaton first came back into the game, when he started really paying attention to stuff. It could be Gluck, just because like Gluck is either a selfish faithful or he's like a bad traitor. It could be Katie because she's been flying under the radar and keeps using I'm a scapegoat. And it could be Topher because Topher's got the best social game. But all of a sudden last night he expresses like large emotions for the very first time in Michael. And it was the first time Topher ever got thrown on the radar. And he was got in a shouting match with Michael. And then even today, Topher was kind of getting feisty with Gluck. And I had never seen Topher with any emotion in this game until suspicions were thrown at Topher. So it could be anybody. What do you disagree with there?
Y'all have not been watching this game. You have not been watching this fucking game.
To defend myself on the whole Michael thing is I felt like Michael coming after me was so out of left field, like after being so loud and wrong, and then to just be like, step to the front of the line, Topher. It was very antagonizing. And I'm not going to sit here and be walked all over by anybody, right? So if I'm antagonized, then I'll respond. It didn't have anything to do with being accused of a traitor. It's the approach in which it was coming at me, right? Because you accused me of being a traitor last night, Scott, and I didn't come at you with emotion or anything like that. And then I'm frustrated this morning because it's like, yes, obviously it's a Michael kill to fucking try to frame me, and I don't know which pair is the one that's doing that. But as I'm sitting here and as I'm listening, I hear, yes, Gluck going back to the competition that Gluck tried to throw to get everybody to put votes on you. Like, how perfect would that look for Gluck to have succeeded in that, and then you would have gone out as a traitor, right? And then it's again how perfect it's been that it's been like, okay, let's keep up this fight back and forth when it doesn't matter, on each other, to then when the one time the vote was coming down to it, to everybody kind of bandwagon on Sanam going off of a loud, incorrect faithful, which I feel like a traitor would do, is they would bandwagon off of a loud, incorrect faithful, because that is the easiest path to get into this round, is my response to that. And that's my challenge. That's my observation and my challenge. Go ahead, Katie.
I actually hit that by accident. But I mean, I guess I'll just kind of speak on that because like on what Scooter kind of said with I think he missed because I think Jess said we had our reservations about Sanam was why we didn't have that conversation like with the 3 of us. I think you twisted those around, not intentionally necessarily, but I just wanted to point that out. And I had already literally voted for Sanam the night before, and I was, I might have been tunneling, and I will openly admit Michael has driven me fucking crazy in this game, but I always felt like he was a faithful, and I definitely do feel I did get influenced by him to some extent with Sanam, but I already had that, and I was struggling on the vote last night, and I did genuinely think it was going to tie. I was very, very shocked that Scooter voted Sanam. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was so ready for the tie, but I went with my gut because my gut was telling me Sanam was a traitor. My gut has been very wrong this game. The only thing my gut has been right about was Hales, and it's so fucking frustrating. And I don't know. And like, yeah, I am harping on me being a scapegoat because that is how I felt. And that is what I genuinely feel is happening to me. And, and it's just very much, it's very convenient with my name being thrown out there, as I should be the one murdered last night. And then I'm not. I'm not going to stop going on that because that is my true defense because I am and have always been a faithful. And I've told, I mean, maybe not everyone, but I've definitely told it on several calls. Like, I applied for this game saying I want to be a faithful because I think I'll be good at finding the traitors. Clearly, I'm fucking wrong, but that was genuinely who I am as a person. And I know because I've had the sus on me, I didn't like always push to like go for shields. It's not like I never wanted to. I wanted to go to the armory just to have the fucking experience of the game. You know what I mean? So that's just me. That's genuinely me. Like, I have not been anyone but myself this game. And I will, and like Scooter was like, and that's another thing Scooter said in the one-on-one conversation we had. He said it's so easy to be a faithful because you just have to be yourself. And I wasn't even thinking about that, but a traitor would be thinking, and I never really got off of my sus of Scooter. Just other people kept pushing that Scooter was a faithful, including Sanam. So it's
So, Katie, can I ask, of the four of us, who is your two? Like, who do you think makes up the traitor team on your end? Is it me and Scooter?
it's honest. Like I said it this morning, like I literally don't trust anyone. Everyone to me is a traitor because I can only see my own card, and I go so back and forth on you, Gluck, and like you know, and going back to like the very beginning of this game, I was the most sus of Hales and Jess, and so it's like, but my gut has been, my gut was half right on that. Is it also right with Jess? I don't know. And I have had mild suspicion on Topher because, and I said that during the freaking touchy subjects, I was like, everyone was like, Katie's the under the radar. I'm like, how the fuck am I under the radar when Topher has had barely any sus, has not been murdered? Because like, I'll admit, I didn't pay full attention to how often he went to the armory, but I was like, how is Topher not the under the radar person? Like, I was shocked. And yeah, that makes me look
Can I
sus.
respond to that real quick?
Yeah.
I think the reason we didn't put Topher there was because Michael wanting to keep Topher's name out and not bring sus to Topher. And Mike, us thinking Sanam was a traitor, didn't want to feed that information to Sanam that we thought it could be Sanam and Topher. So that's why we try to avoid Sanam and Topher's names in that game.
That's new information that could have probably been useful a couple of roundtables ago. So that's also something.
Well, it's just brought up now because Sanam is gone, and it was just information that was not shared because we thought Sanam was a traitor.
I just don't understand this like clandestine mentality of why not bring evidence that you feel is there to like the forefront to be discussed and addressed and brought out unless you feel like it just doesn't hold water. You're also the first person to point out what you think the traitor's motives are of putting me as the most social, and then using that as like against me of like, well, look, the Traitors put Topher as most social, and Topher kind of is the most social. So like, let's look at that. Like looking like it just feels like this whole last 2 rounds feels very orchestrated, going off of utilizing Michael's like high energy, hopping on that train, and then bandwagoning onto the Cinnamon. I still don't understand. Like, Gluck, can you please go back to explaining why you were going to throw the challenge to try to get Scott out? And with Scott going, what does that do? And then why all of a sudden did the two of you come off of each other at the 11th hour and then bandwagon on Sanam? I understand Scott's reason is he spoke on that, but we've not gotten a clear answer from you yet, Gluck.
Again, I viewed Scott as a traitor at that point in time. I still do. That has not changed. I don't even know how to verbalize this anymore because I feel like I've already done it, but I was sus of him. Simple as that. And I didn't want him to get into the armory to have the knowledge of who else is going into the armory. That is why the fruit of the challenge, and I still maintain that viewpoint as I didn't want him getting additional information.
You say viewed and was, so is your sus now not on Scott? Like what has
No,
Scott
it's
done?
my two right now are Scott and Katie. I think Keaton is smart enough to throw the sus off Katie by voting her, and makes him look good on his way out, and he didn't expect to be going out that round. And my sus on Scott has always been there, and now even more so as being the recruit. And again, his cover of 3 votes for Hales, 3 votes for me, and then Sanam is why I'm still and have been sus of Scott.
Jess, your
Go
hands.
ahead, Jess.
I just I don't know what to make of this entire thing with you two. Like, I really don't, because like it just doesn't make sense to me that, like, I'm sorry, but like I could be totally off, but I think that Katie is a faithful. Like, I think she's the only person that I trust. And I think it's really interesting, Gluck, that literally last night you were like, oh, Katie's the obvious kill here. If I was a traitor, I'd kill Katie. And then Katie doesn't die, which is almost like a way to like exonerate you, right? It makes you look good that, oh, if I was a traitor and I was saying this last night, I would have killed Katie. And then Katie survives. Like, I feel like that makes Katie look better to me, you know? And then Michael fucking going, like, after the way that the fights were happening, like, sorry. Like, Michael was tunneled and Michael was wrong. Like, I'm not understanding the logic. Like, why Katie?
Well, from my point of view, Katie is still alive because she's in the turret. Simple as that. I know I'm a faithful, and that's the game that I am seeing in front of my one fucking working eye, Jess, that Katie is in the turret with Scott.
You said from night 1, you said? Sorry, I literally didn't hear. I like can't hear out of his ear.
No, I don't think I said night 1.
I just like
He said all he knows from his own viewpoint is he's a faithful. And he thinks
right, but like
Katie's in the
everybody can
turret.
say that. Like literally every single person here is going to say that.
Right. But I mean that shit. That's all I can say. Like, I have to say that because it's the truth. Do you not want me to say that?
I just think that you have to say that because you were a traitor.
Okay. Again, from my point of view, it's Scott and Katie, and I'm sticking to my guns on that moving forward. If I am the vote, so be it. But that I've said my two. My sus is out there.
So I have 2 questions, and I'll ask the one to Gluck first, or kind of point out that Gluck hasn't tried to vote me since Banishment 3. But you also haven't tried to vote Katie at all. This entire time, you've never thrown a vote at Katie. So if you were like confident in that decision, how come there's never been a vote towards the 2 of us? Or
Well,
like since round 3 and Katie at all?
Katie sus what was something that I brought up earlier when after the Keaton banishment. It wasn't prior to that. In a timeline of events happening, I got sus of Katie after Keaton.
So then
leaving the
why
game.
want to give Katie the
You
shield?
did put it. You did put Katie in your threes round 4. I do see
Yeah,
that.
but why give Katie a shield then if you think Katie's a traitor instead of potentially letting a faithful get a shield?
There was one shield available, and I still stand by that we would learn the most information from Katie having the shield that round instead of Jess or Michael, because the rest of us, everyone in the game, had more sus at that point than Katie did. And
Okay, so there was
Katie,
4 people that could be killed that were all sus, and then you have one who doesn't. Katie didn't have it, and she still wasn't killed.
right, but
So
we still get information from
what did we
person
learn? What information would we learn?
who who was killed that round. I can't even remember.
Oh, it was Michael last night.
This round just happened, Gluck.
You wanted to give Katie the shield yesterday. You said let's just let Katie answer all the stuff so she can get a shield. And Michael got killed. So I don't know why you'd want to have given Katie the shield.
Well, regardless, we were also there was still sus on Michael. Topher was sus on Michael. He was coming to come in today to having Michael be under fire. I stand by the fact that we learn if Katie is not safe and she goes over the 4 of us, like we learned something over than Katie just having the shield.
Yeah, but she wasn't safe and she didn't go. You
And
just
that's why
said
she's in
we
the
learn
turret.
more if she has the shield,
That's
but then you
why
just said we learn more if she doesn't have it.
that's why I believe that you and Katie are in the turret together.
But like, what is Katie having a shield and tell us compared to Katie not having a shield? Like you say, we learn stuff. What do we learn? Like, what in your mind would we have learned?
Someone that dies that had more sus of her at the time. She was on the bottom. We learn more from anyone else going besides Katie. And that's why I elected to have her have the shield. Like the same way that I did with Jess and Michael the round prior, is having that plan of alternating between Jess and Michael, the 2 people I felt good about, and I still do. I stuck with that.
It seems just more like
future.
you want to know who has greater odds of knowing who has the shield and controlling who gets the shield. So there's not an accidental hit of a shield.
Okay. I've said my piece. Like I'm done talking about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Okay.
I'm just ready to vote.
And then my other question, unless Topher or Katie all have a response to that, I had one more.
I did want to respond to that, but I'll let Katie go first.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Gluck just said he was done talking and just wants to vote. But all I was gonna say on that is there was a couple of times just on random calls where Gluck would be like, "I'm not sus of you, Katie. I think you're faithful," but then would come into the round table or put me on his sus list, and I'm just like, if you're sus of me, just fucking tell me. Like, it's just don't say I'm not sus of you. Like, if you don't want to like bring it up to me, but don't explicitly say I'm not sus of you, and then like 5 minutes later be like, no, I'm totally sus of you. Like that is another one of the inconsistencies when it comes to Gluck. I just wanted to just point that one little thing out. And I mean, you said you don't want to respond, but you can. It's up to you.
I feel that the most confusing thing that just transpired that I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around is that we want to give Katie the shield because the death is going to result in the most knowledge. However, because Katie didn't have a shield, we now know Katie's in the turret. But originally, our plan was to give somebody we believe is in the turret the shield. So I mean, like I don't follow that logic of I truly believe Katie is a traitor. I think we need to give her the shield because otherwise the traitors are going to kill her. It just seems a little bit all over the place. And I'm not saying like, and I know that you're a very logical person, Gluck, and like you're a numbers guy, and I get that. And so that's why the inconsistencies in logic stand out to me because it's hard to apply logic to an illogical situation, especially when you're having to construct and orchestrate that situation. And that's where my head is having a hard time wrapping around the theory on that. So that's all I gotta say about that.
I agree with what you're saying, Topher. It is. That's why I was asking. Like, is it better to have Katie have the shield or not? Like, yeah, you can always say like, oh, we learn. Like, what do we learn? Like, that's what I want to know is like, what are you expecting to learn from this? Not just like, oh, we might learn something. You have to have a hypothesis, a hypothesis of what you're expecting to learn by running an experiment, or else you're just like throwing shit out there. Just you have something, it like puts you in first on my screen. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know if you had something. The Zoom just moved you first on my screen, so I didn't know if you.
Oh no, I think that's because somebody like left or came here or something.
Okay. Jess, who are your two?
I've literally been saying it this whole time. Like, I think that it's you and Glug. Like,
Okay.
that's what I'm thinking. I think that it's crazy that Katie's catching all this sus right now. I think it was way too perfect that Michael died, even though Gluck said yesterday that he thought that Katie must get the shield. And I agree with everything that you're all saying about the inconsistency. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you wanted the round before for Michael and I to get the shield, like, that same logic spilling over to Katie being the reason that you want Katie to get the shield because you think that she's faithful. But now you're sitting here and saying that you think that it must be Katie in the turret. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But like, I also don't understand, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Scooter, like, oh my God, I don't know.
Yeah, with that, no, whatever you just said, Jeff, we could have given, if Gluck really wanted Katie to get the shield, the round where it was between you and Michael, we could have just had Katie answer every single question and then she would have gotten a shield. Like that would have like done your experiment, Gluck. But
I didn't want Katie to have a shield at that point in time. I wanted her to have it afterwards.
so
Can we just vote? Can we vote? I'm over this. I'm done.
I don't understand the manipulating of who's getting the shield and who's not getting the shield. As far as like, I didn't want her to have it this round. I wanted her to have it next round. I just like, I don't know. I don't know.
everybody else this whole game just wanted the shields for themselves. Like you're the only person who was like didn't give a shit if you got shields or not, and you wanted to control who had the shields. Yeah.
I've used my idol and advantages on other people in other games I've played because I'm a selfless person and I put myself in the people that I feel like should have shields and I will stand by that. I don't want to talk anymore.
I'm not sure I'm ready to vote, so I'm gonna talk. And like I can appreciate that clock, but like that's fine if you're selfless in other games. And like I've said that too, but this is this game, and I'm gonna only look at this game, especially because I don't have any history to look at anyone, especially on the screen right now, really, than myself. So I'm kind of sick of people bringing up people's like last games and what they did in other games because like that's just like it's putting people like honestly it's putting me and Scooter at a disadvantage because we don't have any history with anyone here. And like I get that it's hard to not pull that information, but it bugs me. And I just wanted like I'm filibustering because I'm not ready to vote anything. So like I just need a conversation to go. And like I don't understand why I've had so much sauce on me. And it's frustrated me and it is why I'm still here. And it's, if you want to, like, if I get banished right now, like, good job, Traitors. But um, this game is so fucking, I'm sorry, this game is not easy because I am a faithful and it has been one of the most difficult experiences. And I can't wait to never play Traitors again.
Tell if like what's happening right now is like Gluck is getting frustrated because he's a faithful, Or is he getting frustrated because he's being really, really well bussed by his other traitor buddy? Like, I genuinely can't tell if that's what's happening because I'm seeing like a very emotional response from him.
Am I the traitor buddy in your statement?
Oh my God. How many times are you going to ask that?
Because Topher and Katie are also pointing out the inconsistencies in Gluck's stuff. It's not just me. I just want to make that clear.
I just think that like I could see the world where like you two are together because of obviously like the voting and everything, right? But like I think that it's very smart to like recruit somebody that you're an op with to A, get them to like get off your ass, and B, people would never expect you two to be together. Like, but I just
If Gluck and I are together and Gluck gets banished this round, that doesn't help me at all. Like, I don't know.
It
I
helps
don't.
me as a faithful.
And are you suggesting Gluck recruited me or I recruited Gluck?
I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to know something like that? Like, Scooter, I feel like these like little like questions that you're doing are just making me think it's you more because you're trying to like deflect off of it. You know what I mean? And you're doing a really good job. And it makes me wonder, like, was Keen a fucking recruit? Like, were you an OG? Was I fully right from the beginning of this game?
What? Well, I'm not deflecting. I'm just doing the same thing I've done this entire game, and I ask the questions. It's what I do. I don't. That's why Sanam and people have been sus on me because I just ask the right questions and it provides good conversation, and it's just who I've been this whole time.
You feel like you. I don't know. I don't know what to fucking think. Just like the downplaying of like everything. Like we've gotten like so close. Like I was like the first person besides Sydney that like said that like, you know what? I think that this could be a frame on Scooter. And then we've gotten like so close in this game, you know? And it's like, that the reason why the rounds that I haven't gone to the armory that I survived, like, is the reason that you were gunning so hard for that shield yesterday because you needed to know who had the shield so that you could kill whoever the fuck you want?
It was because I never had a shield the whole game, and I wanted to make the finale, and that guaranteed me a spot here. I wanted to win a comp. Like that's just who I am. I don't know. And yeah, I know. It's with Michael dying, all my theories, everything is like just shot, and I'm at a loss. Yeah.
Over, can I ask your thoughts? Because I can just kind of see the gears turning in your head. I mean, if you don't want to, I don't want to put you on the spot. What?
What'd you say?
I said I can just see the gears turning in your head, and I was just curious what your thoughts were. But I don't want to put you on the spot either.
No, I'm just listening and I'm hearing like it's like I hear Jess talk about Gluck being emotional. And is it emotional because Gluck has been caught and Gluck has not been caught? And then I hear Scott talking about like his whole MO is just to ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. And I feel like these asking of questions is then being used to try to like trip people up and to get people into like gotchas and things like that may or may not be like actual gotchas. And then the whole following of Michael blindly, following of Michael, changing the sus at the last minute. Like, I don't know if Scott and Gluck are both traitors together. And then right now we are seeing the decomposition of that. I don't know if it's Gluck and somebody else. I don't know. Like, I truly like I have been so up and down on my sus on Scott that has been like, you know, I almost feel like when like Gluck is pushing to like who is going to like the end and stuff like that. And I look and I'm like, okay, like, is it, like, could I see a world where based off the conversations that me and Scott have, that the two of us are sitting, at the end together because we're the most like faithful and things like that, and it's like, but I don't know which way to lean on, if it's the Katie's a traitor or Jess is the traitor, or like, but I feel like in the behaviors that I've seen, like, I am, in my mind, I'm fairly like convinced that it's got to be between Gluck and Scott, and everything that's happening right now is confusing the hell out of me as to how that makes sense and to what that makes sense. It's a very solid ploy. And again, Katie, if you're a traitor, you are a hell of a traitor. And same with Jess, because I'm just like, this is the avenue that we've gone down. And I feel like Michael dying and is the most like arm-wrenching thing they could have done, and it ties me back to the things that Gluck was saying, where he was following the pattern of, he needed things to happen a certain way, Katie was going to die, and then bada bing bada boom, Mike dies, which is like, that's where it's like, I think for me, I'll have to make a decision between the other three of you who I think Gluck's partner is based off the conversation, but I do believe that it's at least Gluck and somebody else. So that's the gears that are turning in my head, Katie. I'm just like, I'm like trying to work the puzzle,
No, I get
and
it. I'm in
it
the
gives me a
same
fucking headache.
position.
Huh?
I'm in the same thought process, I think. I was just curious. I was kind of
Yeah.
watching you listen.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
So I brought this up yesterday, that the only person who has ever been sus on Topher publicly that voted Topher was Jodely. And Jodely was killed. Jodely was a faithful. Even sitting here now, nobody is saying any sus on Topher. Not a single, except for me, except for what I said last night. Jess is saying it's me and Gluck. Katie is saying it's probably Gluck and me. Topher, you're saying it's Gluck and somebody else. Like, I pointed out the freaking, like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm taking crazy pills, that I'm the only person who has any sus on Topher. I don't know. Like, do you have sus on Topher, Jess? You're saying no. I don't know.
Yeah, I do. I talked about this with Katie extensively. I just don't like that there's this little like boys club thing going on, and then suddenly now it's like flipping on to just Katie and I. Like,
I never said
I
Katie.
feel the most confident that it either is you and Gluck or you and Topher. I really don't like this push onto Katie. Like, it feels very
I'm not pushing onto
Katie.
Katie.
Which one of you is good?
I think it's just Gluck is pushing onto Katie. Neither
Yeah.
Topher and I were.
Right. And I mean, I challenge the idea that the only reason that I'm sus is because nobody's sussed me at this game. I feel like I have done a lot to, I've made it into the armory several times in the middle part of the game where killing me would be convenient. And then I think as we get closer to the end, it sets up this frame job. And I feel like I was able to get in front of Gluck's potential frame job, or even your potential frame job, right? Like, because that's like, oh, now all of a sudden, boom, Jodely gets killed and Gluck gets killed. Jodely also got killed on a night that Jodely self-voted. So I don't even know how much credence we can take into that, like, I mean, I go toe to toe with Jodely again, right here, right now. I feel like Jodely was the first to say my name, but Jodely also did it retaliatory. And then when it came down to, I'm accusing somebody of the four to be a traitor, but it's not one of the four, it's somebody outside the four that's protecting. And that resonated to me. That's what really, like, I'm like, Gluck was the one that put us in he tagged us first thing that morning. It was like, boom, 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 boom. Like, it like paints such a bad light and picture on us. And then we have this whole thing of like following Michael's lead. That is also the part that makes me feel like, I'm like, I don't understand, where it's like, somebody's protecting these four, but we are going to listen to Michael these days. Like, now we are listening to Michael. And that's where I struggle with the train of thought and the logic that comes along with it. I mean, if you believe that I am a traitor, then that is your belief. And I don't know what other facts I can point out to you to say that I am a faithful. But that's, everything to me has made sense in this game thus far.
Yeah, I'll just you make good points. I became sus of you mainly with the push on Zach that happened like a couple rounds ago. Um, just because I mean, you and I had talked over our very first conversation was about Zach. So like we both were sus of Zach. I don't think I ever was sus enough to vote on him, but I feel like maybe because we hadn't talked, I didn't think there was that much more sus on him. And then all of a sudden it just like came back so fucking strong onto Zach between like Gluck had it, you had it. Um, and then obviously he was a faithful. And like it just I felt like it came out of nowhere that round that like Zach Gluck had been voting Zach, but then all of a sudden, like you latched on, Jess voted, like a bunch of people voted Zach and Zach was sent home. That's when my sus of you started. So just so you know.
Well, I mean, like I called out Zach, remember Zach had the funny line of the like, quit calling me on my Filipino slips or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so I had been calling Zach out on his inconsistencies. What was weird was that when it kind of came down to it, now all of a sudden there was a giant bandwagon onto Zach. Which Gluck was also a part of, but Gluck had been pushing the Zach thing. And then for that narrative to then be used against me of this is what Michael said on the call that threw me off so much of we're going to mist Topher into taking out a faithful and like convincing everybody that this is why Topher's a traitor because he took out Zach and he jumped on this. Like I was there from the jump calling out all the inconsistencies in Zach. And to me, it was time to rip the band-aid off. That's how I've been with like every single person that we've gotten to of like somebody's sus has gotten up to the boiling point of like, we are now never not gonna know. If Jamie was still here, Jamie would be the number one subject because there was that sus from the jump and we will never not know. We have no choice but to take out Jamie. The same situation occurred with Zach. And I felt like last night, that's where we were at with Gluck. And for some reason that switched. And that to me is what was like, we were about to find out for a fact whether or not Gluck was a faithful or a traitor. And the only person that's going to benefit from Gluck not being found out is the traitors.
If I would have voted
for
Gluck, if I would have voted for Gluck, with Michael gone, there was a tie, and it would have just been Gluck and Sanam like excusing themselves, I guess, and revotes, and it would have just been a tie. I don't know, like. So
I just don't get like why is that an argument?
I mean, you've been arguing like why I changed, and I said why I changed, and I'm just like I don't think if I would have
So
voted
you
Gluck,
just wanted to prevent a tie?
no, I'm just saying. Topher just said if I would have voted Gluck, like if Gluck could have went home yesterday, we don't know that. We don't know if there's a tie if Gluck would have actually went home yesterday. That's the only thing I was arguing. I was not trying to not have a tie or anything. Just the argument that a vote for Gluck didn't necessarily mean Gluck went home yesterday.
It wasn't just like your vote in general. It was the fact that it was like we were at the point of we will know for a fact whether or not Gluck was a traitor or a faithful. And that would have given us so much more ammo coming into tonight. And I feel like we now, didn't get that because of brand new susses that had kind of came on to Sanam. Which I agreed. There were a lot of sussy things on Sanam, but we had a longer
path. Yeah, you had even talked about it, some of them.
We had a longer path of distrust in Gluck that would have given us so many more clearer answers because Sanam flipped faithful, and I feel like we didn't learn fucking anything, other than the fact that it was weird that Gluck didn't get banished.
I fully expected to get banished last night. Like, I don't think I should still be here. My reaction last night was genuine.
I voted who I voted because I thought they were a traitor. I did not do it hoping to get information. I wanted to get a traitor.
And you just don't think that Gluck's a traitor anymore?
I didn't say that. I was just in that moment more sure that Sanam was a traitor than Gluck.
I don't get the switch. I really don't. And so
I
when
mean,
he's
I,
been
I
like
was sus on
saying that
Sanem
like,
for
oh, I've been
rounds up
consistent, I've been
until that.
consistent, like that's like literally been your whole argument. Like, oh, I've been consistent this whole time. There's like no evidence on me, but like there's evidence on everybody. Like, this is a game of traitors. Like, we're basically going off of just vibes at the end of this. Like, yeah, you can look at the voting history. That's evidence, sure. But like harping on like, oh, I've been consistent and therefore I must not be a traitor. Like Sanam like brought up, like, oh, you're so likable. Like Sanam saying that you're so likable and you bringing up time and time again as to like, how is that an accusation against me? It feels like minimization. Like it feels like deflecting off of you. Like, and like obviously she was good. Like she has points. Like I think about Jamie. I'm like, why was Jamie so close to you? Because like from where I'm sitting, the way that Jamie was trying to play this game was that he was trying to get close to the traitors so that he could survive. Like I just don't get the random switch on Gluck. And I don't know if it's because you wanted to just make it through to here, like I really don't know. Like I don't understand like your actions. Like and I'm still like I don't think that there was like credence to the red lights on you necessarily. But if you are an OG, maybe there is. Like I really don't know.
So another major thing, I mean, I said this yesterday of why I didn't like why I became sus on Sanam was Sanam pulled me into a 101, and the very first thing out of her mouth was, Scooter, I don't think you're a traitor anymore. There, nothing, I hadn't done anything different. Like she literally that was her opening statement was, I don't think you're a traitor. Like I've been thinking of it because like Keaton and whatever reasons, but like to completely just drop her sus of me was like out of left field. I had no idea. Like she's been sussing me this. I think she was like, let me look. I thought she like voted. She voted me round two. She was been sussing me since then, and then now all of a sudden, going into the last night, she's not sussing me. I don't know, and that to me was like such a. It was like she was scared that she was like, oh shit, I need an ally or something. I don't know, like why. And she didn't really have a valid reason. It was just like, well, I saw the Keaton vote and stuff, and so I think because Keaton was a traitor, maybe you're not.
Okay, let's
I
not say that her
So,
reasons were invalid. Because like they were.
no, I'm not saying they're invalid. Just the fact that it
You
came
just
out
said
of
that.
nowhere. No. I felt like I didn't think there was enough evidence to drop sus on me completely when she's been sus on me the entire game.
I want to say that I think it's logically stepping outside of the game and how I feel about everyone. The best tit for tat thing y'all can do is to vote out me or vote out Scooter and then do the other. Tit for tat. One of us.
Look, why you gotta fuck me up?
That is genuinely how I feel. So I don't care what order y'all do it in, but it should be one followed by the other. Scott, do you agree with that?
I mean, it just feels weird. Like, are you giving up on each other? Like, is this, are you like throwing Scooter under the bus
You
in
will
your
find
last,
out
like,
post-season. In 20 minutes from now, you will know the truth. But that is the logical thing to do. I promise you.
That's so rotted.
I don't I don't agree with it because I'm a faithful and you're, that's dumb. Like just because you're okay with getting voted out right now, I'm not okay with that. I'm gonna fight till the end. Not once have I ever asked anyone like, "Hey, don't vote on me." I'm just like, let my actions show you if I'm a faithful or if I'm a traitor. I'm not gonna make a deal to be like, "Oh, do this." Just either vote me or don't. But yeah, there's not some master strategy. No matter what, everyone's gonna learn everybody's roles at the end. It's not like so. Yeah,
And with that, if no one has anything else to say, Go on, let's get to the votes. I want to remind you all when I do reveal the votes, and if you are banished, you will just either go off camera and on mute, or you will leave the call. You do not get to say anything, do not reveal your role or anything like that, please. Just a quick reminder. All right, I had the votes. Like I just said, though, remember when you are banished, if you want to stay on the call, you can just go off camera and stay on mute. Do not reveal or say anything once you are banished. Let's get to the votes. First vote we have is Scooter. Scooter voted for Gluck. Scooter.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna just tell everybody vote me or you, I'm gonna vote you.
All right, next we have is Gluck. Gluck voted for Scooter. Gluck.
You got recruited.
Next we have is Topher. Topher voted for Gluck. Topher.
I think that Gluck, in an effort to not lose alone, just threw his other traitor under the bus.
Next we have is Jess. Jess voted for Scooter. Jess.
I just feel like after everything, everything seems to lead back to you, and you are more likely to be the traitor candidate out of everybody else that's here.
And finally we have Katie. And Katie has voted for Scooter. Katie.
I never lost my sus on Scooter, and I think I got misguided away from it. And I just am going back to how I felt very early in the game.
And with that, in a 3-2 vote, Scooter has been banished. Thank you for going off camera for us. You all will have 5 more minutes to talk if you want to banish or stop for this next round. So you have until 1 after. I mean 11 after.
I want to keep going.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so straight up.
Yeah.
There's
We have no
another
choice but to vote one more time.
like anybody that were to vote not to continue is
It's clearly a
or
traitor.
not.
If you all are ready to vote at any
time,
time, you can vote in your chats, by the way. Just let you know.
All right.
Huh?
I
What?
said if you all are ready to vote at any time, you can go on and vote in your chats, by the way.
Oh,
Just
okay.
let you know.
Okay. So we are all agreeing to vote.
Yep.
I hate this game, but I also like love this game. I love this game like earlier, but like when it gets down to this shit, like
And to be clear, right now, you're just voting really quick if you want to continue the game or not. We still got to do that, even though if you agreed on the call, you got to vote in your chats for that. Just saying.
Oh, my bad. I thought we were voting for the person.
No, you're good. Just want to let y'all know. All right, you all have agreed to continue to banish. So, like I said, go ahead and start voting in your chats. All right, I had the vote. Same as usual. Say your name, who you voted for. You have a second to say something if you like. First person we have is Topher. Topher voted for Gluck. Topher.
Austin, you didn't say a name.
Oh, sorry, I thought I did. Topher voted for Gluck. Sorry. I must hit the mute thing before.
Same reason as last time.
Next we have is Gluck. Gluck voted for Katie. Gluck.
I think Keaton could have recruited you.
Next we have is Katie. Katie voted for Gluck. Katie.
There's just too much uncertainty when it comes to you, and you pretty much just asked us to vote for you.
And lastly we have Jess, and Jess voted for Gluck. Jess.
Yeah, you said you want us to go down to 2, and to me, we can't have you as part of that.
All right, with that, Gluck has been banished. He's out. Now y'all can vote again in your chats or y'all want 5 minutes to talk.
It's up to the two of you. I think we caught 2 traitors. If you want to go down to 2, we can go down to 2. I'd like to share in this win with you. Because I know there's been a lot of talk about getting out the boys. So that's, that's
I'm going to be going down to 2, I think. That's just where I'm at. I don't know. Do we, like, I just feel like...
I feel like this sucks because, like, I want to be true to my selfless nature, but at the same time, like, going down to 2 is a better guarantee of guaranteeing there's no traitors at the end. I'm very conflicted.
Whenever you are ready, go to your chats and vote in the game or continue. All right, it's 2 to continue. So we will go on and vote again in your chat. Vote. All right, I have the votes. Let's do as we usually do. First up, we have Topher. Topher voted for Katie. Topher.
I think between the two of you, if one of you has to be a traitor, I believe it would be you, Katie.
Next we have is Katie. Katie voted for Topher. Katie.
Kind of same reaction. I've had enough sus on you, and I've just haven't had that on Jess.
And lastly, we have Jess. And Jess has voted for Katie. Katie, you have been banished. Go off mute and off cam for us here. All right, final 2. Jess and Topher. Would you both, at the same time here, would like to reveal your roles out loud? I'm gonna do 3, 2, 1, and y'all can reveal, okay? 3, 2, 1.
Traitor.
Yes, you both are the recruit traders. Congrats on winning this game. You all will split the money.
I'm so sorry to everyone. I hated every moment of this, but I had no choice, and I love all of you, and you're all really, really good people, and I am a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I hated this. I hated this. I hated this. You guys can all hate me.
Ugh.
It's just the name of
But
the
if
game.
the roles were reversed,
Especially
y'all would have done the same thing to
you,
us.
Also, the rest, y'all can go on camera and talk. Any of you can. Allie, Zach, you're all welcome to talk now or anything. You're all good.
Katie, you were allowed to hate me with like every fiber of your being.
No, Alex